And my name's Tracy.
And so if you're watching along with us live, we'd love to know that you're there, or if you're watching after the fact, then share, like, comment, anything like that, just so we know that you're around and watching, enjoying what we're doing. So
Absolutely. So this week, first week back this week from Christmas and New Year and everything. And this week we're going to show you how to make falafels, because it was a revelation over the holidays.
Love a falafel.
That, falafels actually aren't that hard to make at all.
No.
So Bryony's cutting up some spring onions.
Yes, we just got our knives sharpened this morning.
Yeah,
this is like, it's gripping really to the board. It's just like, oh, it's not as smooth.
Okay.
But very sharp.
Very sharp.
So what have we got?
So I have overnight soaked some chickpeas. So you can use the dried chickpeas are definitely the nicest, because you definitely don't have to cook them. So they actually go into the falafels raw, which was something that I didn't know. So all I've done is I've soaked them, and I have not cooked them. So 8 hours overnight, 8 hours, or in the morning for the cooking in the evening.
While you're at work.
Lots of water,
yeah,
because they do double in size. So I've soaked 300 grams of chickpeas. Often they're like poking out of the water, aren't they? And do you want to pop the spring onions in there?
Yeah.
Yep. And I'm going to add a teaspoon of cumin seeds, ground cumin, teaspoon of coriander. You can add more if you want to. That certainly is totally up to you how spicy you like these little babies. And it's not spicy hot, it's just spicy flavour, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really?
So you could make it spicy.
You could. You could make it spicy by adding some fresh chilli. We're going to add 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric as well. Love that. Fresh chilli, if you want to. I quite like the idea of the green fresh chilli, because it keeps everything nice and green. Yeah.
Keep to the green.
You can do red if you've only got red, but I quite like the green. I quite like the green idea. Then we've got the what's that? Pepper, cracked black pepper, and a decent amount. We've got about 1.5 teaspoons of salt flakes as well. So in goes our herbs as well. Or am I whizzing this now?
You're whizzing that first.
I'm whizzing this first.
Yeah.
So this is where, because I'm a novice at falafels, I sort of think, oh, can you whiz everything all up together? I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, well, from reading the recipe, it was generally the dry and then add the wet to it, so you get I presume, a finer meal.
Yeah.
So, because you're kind of making a chickpea meal, aren't you?
We are. So, there we go. That's pretty easy.
Beautiful.
All right.
Oh, and it smells awesome already.
Yeah. So doesn't it?
Yeah.
Doesn't it? And this is where I got really excited.
Yeah.
Because of that. In fact, that's so nice. We can just put that in like that from my garden.
All right. Straight from the beautiful
and
soft.
We're measuring these by the handful, Bryony.
And how is your handful the same as my handful?
Well, do you know what? It doesn't matter.
Okay.
So, because this is, it doesn't matter.
I like things to
they're
be accurate.
Herby. I know, but they're just herby. So they are easy to make.
So we've got parsley, mint,
yeah, I just want to show
coriander.
people how to prepare the mint, to do it really quickly with these soft herbs. Pull it backwards like that.
Yeah.
And then pinch the top bit off.
Okay.
So that makes it nice and simple, doesn't it? That was nice and calm and simple like that, rather than picking off every single leaf. So we'll pop this on again and get these chopped in here, and the mixture will turn green.
Beautiful.
Voila, like that. Now,
except for that
apart
one.
from this one, because this is where I'm a cowboy and I go, oh, it'll be all right. And it will. It will.
All right.
Now, at this stage of the game, this is what I was always worried about. Like, how do you make that into something that's going to stick together? Because it just falls apart. We can put the wet bits in now. So I'm going to add garlic to these, which you certainly can do, or you don't have to. But Bryony's just pointed it out, so of course I'll add it. Which is
what is that? The garlic and the flowers now.
Garlic, and so we're going to add a couple of tablespoons. Let me just wipe my hand. A couple of tablespoons of plain flour.
And then we've got baking powder.
A teaspoon of baking powder. So that will...
What's the purpose? Yes.
The purpose is that the baking powder will then lighten up the falafels and help them rise a little bit.
Right.
so that they're not quite so dense. And all of a sudden, this mixture starts to come together in sort of like a I tell you, can I just say, I do love this Magimix.
Yeah.
Because it's just such a great little thing. So all of a sudden, just by adding that flour, look at that. We've got something that will actually stick together and hold together.
Yeah.
Just two tablespoons of flour, which I absolutely love.
So this is then vegetarian and vegan?
Yes.
Thinking
yes, because there's no egg. Some recipes will say egg, but I found that you just... Well, I don't need them.
Oh, me.
Yeah, not like one doesn't need them.
One does not require eggs in it. Well, that's good. So vegetarian, but not gluten-free. So do you reckon we could substitute the plain flour with a different type of flour? That would take some experimenting.
I'd be a little bit, I'd be a little bit cautious with that because of the gluten in the flour. So the gluten in the flour is what brings it all together into this sort of paste now. So if you can just pop the Go Faster Red Magimix under the counter, that would be fabulous.
Yep.
This thing here.
All right. And so now we're dividing that into 16.
We're going to make about 16, and it just depends on really what you want to do, doesn't it? At the end of the day, how many falafels you actually want to make. You can actually make some quite big ones.
Big
and
falafels.
Take one to work, or
a giant falafel.
Smaller ones.
Where's my quarter of a teaspoon gone?
I probably cleared it up.
Cleared it up.
Do you know what? Just go wild and just guess it.
I'm going to use a whole teaspoon. So we're going to make a yogurt dressing. So I'm going to use a quarter of I'm using a whole teaspoon measure, but
while Bryony's doing that, I'm going to get
quarter-ish
shaped
of a teaspoon of cumin in there and some salt. Same thing. I want a quarter of a teaspoon, and
I like the way you just wipe that on your clean apron, which was fabulous because it is clean apron. Because it's only you don't want to put the cumin into the salt, but you don't want to go and wash up.
That's right.
Another spoon, do you?
So we're going to mix that up, and if you do this a bit earlier, the flavour will infuse. You could put a whole garlic clove in it, like smashed. You could either, do it infused like that, or if you actually want to eat the garlic, because that's garlic's actually a good, very good prebiotic. You can certainly add the crushed garlic into that. But either way, as Bry's saying, it will just soften that garlic a bit if you do it beforehand. Yeah, that's right. So, and also the flavours will develop if you do it a bit more in advance. So if you're preparing this, then I suggest doing the yogurt first. Pop it in the fridge, and then make your falafels.
Look at them.
They're beautiful. They're very nice. I love the green,
Aren't they? Fantastic. Now, I was actually watching Toby Puttock making these as well the other day when he was round.
Was he at your house?
He was on my
I saw him on Jamie
computer screen. Oh, did you?
He was on his Facebook.
He's a sweetheart. He's a lovely boy, that Toby Puttock. And he puts fresh broad beans in his as well. So there's lots, once you understand what you're making here, then there's lots of alternatives to this.
So he used the beans instead of the chickpeas, or he added that?
With the chickpeas. And then I was thinking, listen to this, then I was thinking, hey, what about edamame? Yeah. I'm just thinking if people are listening out there. What about edamame?
It's another bean. It's a soya bean.
Yeah, edamame is the soya bean, and it's bright green, and you can buy them frozen in the supermarkets even now, can't you? I'm going to stop
I'm not
shaping
sure about
these,
Coles
otherwise
and stuff.
I'm just going to keep going.
Frying some,
yes, they don't take very long, but
don't they? So
no. But I'll just. How many have I got here? 8. So So you could add some frozen. Or defrosted, you obviously got to have them defrosted. Edamame into here. If you don't like broad beans, they've got the leathery jackets, haven't they? The broad beans, unless you grow them yourself and you pick them.
Broad beans.
Yeah, but edamame, the actual skin on edamame is not as leathery. So
As long as they're not in the pods, though, that would be.
No, don't do it.
You'd have to take them out of the pods.
That would be silly.
So get the loose ones. But if you can't find them in your supermarket, they're definitely in the Asian supermarket, pretty cheap and something you can have on hand.
All right, so I'm going to go around here. I'm going to show 2 different ways of frying these falafels. I need to call them edamame.
Falafels.
Frying these. So we've got it looks like it's very shimmering, the oil in the shallow frying pan. So if you don't have a fryer at home, then you can use a shallow frying pan like this. And what we'll do is we'll just place these, I'm hoping, because I haven't really checked that, I'm just going wild, that this will be, oh dear, it's not the best thing to do it with, is it really?
Place them in.
Shall I place them in?
Like for my fryer fish and chips cooking days in the cafe by the beach.
And that's your deep frying basically at home like that. So that's not too hard. You're not using very much oil.
So you have to have them submerged.
You don't have to. You can do them even even shallower if you want to.
Right. I am going to a friend's place and she has requested me to show her how to make croquettes.
Ah.
And I doubt she's got a fryer, but yeah, so I'm thinking about that. And if I shallow fry croquettes, so off the falafel topic, about making them flatter, almost like a patty.
Yes. Yes.
So if you're shallow frying, you want it.
Yeah. So if you're shallow frying a round ball in here, you'd need twice as much oil, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So if you can get past the falafels not being like a little quenelle sort of shape, and you can eat them like this, I'm just going to turn this oil up now. This one's got its own temperature. What's it called?
Thermostat.
Thermostat. So it's going to stay at about 180.
Yeah.
This one has not got. The cameraman's laughing. Even Bri forgetting words.
What's the first day back? I've been on holiday for 2 weeks.
And I forget words anyway, but so the thermostat will keep this going at the right temperature. If this cools down because we put 4 falafels in, you're going to need to turn the temperature up a bit. So that's the ease of the deep fryer. Sorry to go.
No. What was the sign that you know that it's hot enough? Like
okay,
the oil?
So on the recipe, which will be on the which obviously will be up. I would recommend getting a thermometer.
Yeah.
So do you want to
get a thermometer?
Yeah, Fossick in your drawers.
If it's here, it might be in your
might be
one.
in my drawer. Fossick in my drawers.
Here
we go. Yes.
Yeah.
Got 3 of them in there. Very lucky.
Oh.
So you can buy one of these. Do you want to go under the camera? Buy one of these, and they're very easy. Very easy to buy. Everything's very easy to buy if you've got the money and you know where to get them from.
So be careful because it's currently on Fahrenheit, so that might be a bit confusing.
Very available everywhere. So we need to just test that by popping the thermometer in there, or the the probe in there, and seeing if it's coming up to 180,
which sure it is. Don't touch the bottom.
The bottom? Whose bottom?
The pan. Any bottom.
Any bottom. Keep away from the bottom.
You know what? That is like almost perfect. It is 180 degrees. It's just clicking over a little bit.
But basically, you'll know if it's too hot, the falafels will go black and won't be cooked on the inside.
That's a good sign. That's right.
If it's too low, there'll be no bubbling. And the falafels will just sit there and start absorbing all the fat, which is what you don't want. But a thermometer really is such a useful piece of kitchen equipment, isn't it?
It is. I'm laughing because I wanted my thermometer over the break, and of course the batteries had died in it.
Oh, no.
So it's very useful if you've got spare batteries. So done a quick dressing.
Yes, we are just simply serving this with a very simple midweek salad. Tomatoes, lettuce, cucumber. Avocado, I thought, would be nice with these as well.
Yeah, because you've got the crunchy, so a bit of softness.
Yes.
So we've got, just going to gently toss the salad with my hands, because if you use tongs, especially with this, you're going to crush up all that avocado and end up with like mashed avocado in there.
Don't they smell fab? Smell of vision.
Yeah, I can't wait to try them. And
said the cameraman.
Excellent. So just some So, yeah, it didn't
They
take...
look as good as bought ones, don't they?
They do.
Just going to turn that down a bit while we...
So quite a simple midweek meal. And apart from the whole frying thing, it's pretty healthy, but...
But do you know what? Frying at home
Yeah.
is so much better than getting these pre-fried, pre-bought somewhere, bought and pre-fried, and then you heat them up in the oven because you don't know what oil they've used. It might be one of those horrible oils
and what they've put in it. So having the control of what you've got in there in your falafels. I just like saying the word.
You do, don't you?
Falafel.
You're actually very good at it.
Thanks.
I really like the way that you do say that.
I saw a show where the people were like, oh, they're not saying it right. I don't know how to say it.
Okay. Well, I like falafels. Just like
Falafel?
that. Falafel.
Falafel?
Falafel.
Oh.
So you can't even tell the difference between the ones done in the deep fryer, which, by the way, is literally a $50 Cambrook deep fryer from Kmart,
Big W,
Big W
like
places like that. Very easy to keep clean and everything, and clean up at the end.
You can reuse your oil 4 or 5 times depending on what you're using.
On what
if
you're
it's
doing.
the same thing,
yeah,
same flavours.
You don't want to cook salt and pepper squid, churros, falafels.
Yeah,
and
in that order, that would be.
Yeah, that would be horrible. That'd be horrible. So just, I always keep my, at home, I use a frying pan like that, which doesn't use very much oil, and then I don't have very much oil. I can just carry on
reuse that
using
oil?
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely,
cool.
absolutely. If I've done fish, then I usually put it back into a glass bottle, and I'll write fish on it and the date.
Fish oil. Yeah.
Fish oil.
Fish
yeah.
oil.
So so was there anything else that we wanted to tell people, because it's quite important? You were talking about the shape of the frying, so I think we got that across.
Yeah,
didn't
so
we?
flat. So many
was
different
good.
things that you could serve this with. Do you want to serve that one up, and we'll talk
can.
about the...
Do you know what? I'm going to put one of each.
One of each.
I might actually have to move this towards me, but I'll pop it back in a second. 'Cause I just...
So we were talking about different ways to serve this. If you saw at the end of last year, we did our own flatbread with hummus, and that would be awesome with your falafels, the flatbread. Hummus with the falafel might be a bit of a chickpea overload. That sounds disastrous to me. But
I know what might happen.
yeah, but we'll say like a tahini yogurt would be beautiful with it. So whatever you want in a wrap, have all these salads, and people can make up their own wrap.
Absolutely,
with
making
it.
your own flatbread like that is absolutely
And I think
superb.
the whole flatbread thing, I was actually talking to a friend last night, is great with kids because they get to put what they want in it, and sometimes they'll put more, have a bit of
bit more of
the
this,
salad.
bit more of that.
That's
Absolutely. Right. So I think the yogurt is a really good thing to keep them a little bit more moist and add a little bit of moistness to that, as well as flavour, especially if you put lots of other things in there like tahini, like garlic, like fresh mint if you want to. We've got lots of mint in the falafels. You could actually you only need to use one herb in those falafels. Mm-hmm. You don't have to use all 3 herbs.
Or maybe you could serve it with a herb salad.
Yeah, you could put some beautiful fresh mint and parsley, and maybe even a bit of coriander in there. That would be awesome. Like so many, it's a little bit like like a mix and match wardrobe, isn't it, with having all these beautiful things. So I think that's a fantastic midweek evening meal. You're eating lots of healthy stuff there. There's a great balance in there, and they taste absolutely delicious.
Oh,
so
do they?
Yeah. Oh, I was hoping you'd say that.
Yeah.
So look, we'll break one in half.
Oh,
Look at that.
I'll try the
Absolutely
broken
gorgeous. You can.
Awesome with
get
you.
a bit more
Oh,
vanilla on it. I know, don't they
some
smell?
vanilla on it.
Yeah, don't put vanilla in it. Tasty.
Yeah.
So you can see that they're really still quite moist on the inside as well.
They are.
And they'll be absolutely delicious.
The yogurt's great.
With that salad. Give them a crack. They're really good. Really good.
And awesome, I think a great lunch leftover.
Definitely. You can definitely eat them cold. You can definitely heat them up. They're beautiful. I'm not eating it because I'm going to eat it in a minute. But I can't talk with my mouth full.
No.
So I'm dying to eat it, but I'm stopping. Right. I'm stopping. So there we go. Next week, we're going even crazier next week. We're once they've got their fryers set up, we're going to be doing American style crispy chicken, deep fried chicken.
Fried chicken.
Fried chicken,
Fried
honey
chicken.
pie.
Awesome.
And that's going to be served with a beautiful coleslaw. I believe the cameraman may have a question for us. No, the cameraman wants to say something.
I have a question from Ellie Armand-Jones. Would you toast the spices ever?
Yes, Ellie Armand-Jones, you can toast the spices pre. I'm just trying to make it really quick and simple for a midweek meal idea. So absolutely superb. If you want to take the flavour up a notch, definitely get your coriander and cumin, toast them whole, the whole seeds in the pan.
Talking whole spices when you're toasting them.
That's right. Toast them whole in the pan. They only take a couple of, well, cumin takes seconds. Coriander seeds take a minute or two. And then grind them in the mortar and pestle, and that will elevate the flavours even
Grind
more.
them in the food processor.
Do you reckon that
They're not going to
would?
get too fine.
Yeah.
Thermomix would.
Okay, we haven't got a Thermomix. So yeah, if you're doing them in the Thermi, then you can grind your seeds once you've toasted them, grind them, add
And I've just been
everything else.
experimenting with the NutriBullet, and
okay.
that does fairly well.
It does.
Yeah.
It does very, very well. Okay, and one more.
Jan Hall.
Yes.
Hi, Jan.
Missing you, Jan.
She found frozen edamame beans in cold.
Frozen
Yeah.
edamame in coals.
Yep.
Excellent.
Frozen edamame coals.
Gum help if you
Yes. So Jan, if you wanted to make these gluten-free, and for people who want to make these gluten-free, I've got a little bit of a thing about the gluten-free flour, because a lot of that is very, very processed and refined.
Yeah.
And the gluten-free flour will have a gluten alternative in it, and sometimes it's xanthan gum, so it starts with an X, xanthan gum. I'm not going to go into how much xanthan gum you would put in there, but yes, Jan, you could definitely use something like rice flour and add your xanthan gum as well, and that will bring that together.
Twister,
It is, isn't it? For gluten-free.
And I think if those that tried to do the gluten-free alternative would have a better idea than we would.
Oh, totally.
But even something like I did it in a class, the flaxseed meal, like it does like the chia egg thing, like
and it makes a bit gluey.
jelly. So if
Yep.
somebody wants to experiment with that and let us know, that'd be great.
Totally. And I thought this morning when I woke up, I've just remembered that you could use chickpea flour if you want to make
Instead
it
of
gluten-free.
grinding.
Instead of chickpea flour,
Yeah.
with the xanthan gum, will then bring it all together.
Okay. But
'Cause
not
chickpea flour doesn't
alone
have the chickpea flour doesn't have the gluten
to
in
hold
it.
it together. Is that right?
Yes.
All right,
Sorry,
okay.
I'm getting funny signals from the cameraman.
Another
He's
question. Wow, so many questions. Hello, Kathleen.
Happy New Year, Kathleen.
She's done lots of cooking over these holidays.
Fantastic.
She's
Lots
been
of
cooking
cooking.
lots, yes.
Oh, fantastic.
Hello from Jill Johnson.
Oh, hello,
Hi.
Jill.
Tina has joined.
Hello. It's wonderful.
Wow.
Fantastic. Well, Happy New Year to everyone. Hope to see you back here this time next week. We're actually
Fried
going to
chicken.
be including this video on the free recipe page for a week, and then of course everything will be on the Cooks Collective. So most of those people are actually Cooks Collective members, so it's lovely knowing that you girls are watching us live, and we very much look forward to being back next week. If you've got any further questions, put them in the feed below. And I'm sorry, yes, Mr. Cameraman? And we're also, this year, we want to up our ante in our communication with you. So just so wonderful to talk to everybody and have people talking back to us. That's what we want more of. We feel that we want to get, Bryony doesn't even know this yet, but we want to get more of your ideas so that we can cook.
This way now.
Yeah, why don't you? We want to get your suggestions for what do you cook midweek that you absolutely love. It's simple, it's easy, and we can feature your recipe. Bryony and I can cook your recipe on here, get a shout out, and yeah, we'll start cooking your recipes here at Matters of Taste. It would be such fun to find out what you feel is your most popular, delicious, quick, fantastic midweek meal idea. So you can email us, info@mattersoftaste.com.au, or post, if you're a Cooks Collective member, post in the closed Facebook group, or post on our
Yeah, send us a private message.
Private message us.
And
Awesome.
we can Give it a go. Give it a
Gosh,
crack.
lots of chats at the end. We're going to go and eat the rest of
Yum.
the falafels. Enjoy
Awesome.
that, and
Very
we'll
nice. Excellent.
see you next week.